Here on Talking with Hoops with Coach Laymon. Coach Laymon, thank you for joining us today.
Well, it's awesome to be here.
So this is the start of the season for you. So tell us a little bit about what you expect out of your girls.
Well, the off season has been very productive for us. Going back to the spring, we revamped quite a lot of our offensive schemes, defensive schemes, practice approaches, adjustments in mindset and philosophy in order to best meet the needs of this group. And so it's been really neat to see the amount of growth. I think that I honestly could say that this bunch has improved as much as I've seen a group get better over the course of an off season. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how we look whenever we throw it up and get to playing somebody else.
Well, good. Tonight, y'all play Gravett tonight. Tell me what you expect out of that.
Well, the number one that we have discussed as a group is what we call bounce backs. Whenever something doesn't go your way, and so I'm not necessarily looking for what kind of things that we do great. If that sounds odd, I know, but what I'm looking for is, hey, that ball gets fumbled. Whenever that foul occurs and there's no whistle, whenever the shot gets missed, how do we respond? And the kids are going to perform very well. I think that we'll compete. But if we're talking about being our best in February, in March, then what's really going to make the difference is our ability to display that toughness and maturity to bounce back whenever we're being challenged. So
Right.
that's what I'm looking for. But what I expect the kids to do, I expect them to play with a lot of intensity, a lot of effort, and what I would like to see is crisp, sharp execution.
Who are some of the leaders on the team this year?
Well, it's such a tremendous group because they're a group of kids that each one has a real desire to be their best self.
Right.
And we have individuals that are leading by example.
Right.
in a lot of places. But if I was going to point some kids out specifically, I've been very, very pleased with Tegan Holt this fall. She is not the most vocal individual. She's not going to be the one that's giving the rah-rah speech, but she does a tremendous job of recognizing when somebody needs a pat on the back, whenever somebody needs something explained,
Right.
and when somebody needs encouragement. And so she would be one for sure. An underclassman that I've been very pleased with is Maddie Kitterman.
Cool.
Maddie Kitterman she's a junior, and she got some playing time last year, but she has just been a gym rat and really developed her game. But she has been an awesome leader in what I would call a competitive captain, to
Right.
where she's going to get in the gym and get meaningful reps if she doesn't have the buddy out there visiting with her.
Right.
And has really spent time in developing, and that draws other people along with. So I've been very pleased with the kids as far as
Good.
how they've gelled together and worked with one another. But it's interesting that the biggest moments of growth have been in our moments of adversity. Whenever we've had times where we're really challenging each other, or we have disagreements, or we have somebody that's not meeting a standard, we've been able to see tremendous growth come as a result of it.
Right. So how have the kids learned the X's and O's of the processes that you want to teach them?
That's an interesting one. I read a book last spring that is called Transforming Basketball. And what it really harped on was a concept called affordances. And for them, affordances was recognizing the opportunities. And so if you can put cones out and you can have the kid dribble around the cone and do a specific move all you want to, but if they don't know when the appropriate time to use it is,
Right.
then they won't be able to flip the switch and make that happen or do that choice, whatever it may be. And we spent a lot of time last season with fundamentals.
Right.
I mean, just hammering those fundamentals. And then you get into games, and now all of a sudden there's game preparations.
Right.
And honestly, I spent too much time on game preparations. Hindsight's 20/20. But we were able to, once we got out of the season, we were able to, Coach Person and I, we reformatted and decided the direction that we wanted to go and the points of emphasis we needed to have. And then we created or found a lot of different games that were more small-sided games that put the kids into the situations where they had to use the skill that we were wanting them
Right.
to use, and then backed off and let them figure it out a little bit. And they call that self-organizing.
Right.
And sometimes a kid needs a little more help self-organizing than others, but through that process, we were able to see the kids start to gain the understanding. And I'll tell you this, at this point right now, which is easy to say, we're undefeated right now.
Right.
But this group has developed into being one of the higher IQ teams that I've had here at Heritage. So
I noticed yesterday when they come off the court from practicing, they were carrying binders.
Yeah.
Is that something new that you've done this
No.
year, or is that something you've done every year?
No, we do that pretty regularly. We have playbooks and scouting reports and thoughts that we want to stress. We'll give it to them to have it organized.
Right.
But that's more so that scouting reports don't get left under the bleachers
I
and
understand.
in the locker room make messes. But I'm not the most organized person. But if I have to be organized for somebody else, then I
Right.
get a little bit
I
more
understand
organized.
that. So I know that you got a game tonight with Gravitt, and then on Thursday night y'all go to Prairie Grove as a travel team.
That's correct.
So tell me how you like to prepare for a travel game.
Well, it's kind of a challenge with girls basketball because of the timing of the games.
Right.
If you're thinking about a game that starts at 7 o'clock, it's convenient to say, hey, we're going to have our walk through, and then we're going to eat a bite to eat at 4 o'clock, and then I have 3 hours to digest, and you're ready to jump on the bus and go. So for us, it kind of gets crammed in just a little
Right.
bit more. Honestly,